Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moonride. This is Dave Johnson. I'm channeling the man in the moon. I don't know, the energy just feels pregnant. It feels like something's about to happen, but not exactly happening. Little cogs are moving, but energetically, I feel like something big is coming. So let's just take a look. I have no plan. I'm just going to see what Spirit shows me today. This will be a predictive reading. Let's take a look. Okay. First thing I'm noticing is something is sort of like on the edge of my vision here. And I think there's something that we're not focusing on now. Okay, so you know that painting by Hopper, and it's like a painting of people in a sort of corner restaurant, and they all look kind of distant from each other. They're sort of staring out in space. It's quite a sad painting. Well, it's like I've gone into that painting, and now it's like the kitchen in the painting, and there's just a mess. It's like a riot is going on. It's like, I don't know why this window, but here I am in this place, and I'm seeing like dishes breaking, and Trump's there, and he's just like, everybody, it's just a mess. It's like everybody's just um, afraid of him. He's like throwing the dishes, and they're just walking around going like, this is falling apart. Like this guy's totally nuts and throwing dishes, and he's just like really angry, and people are there trying to calm him down, and they don't seem able to calm him down. They try to calm him down, and he just yells at them, and they're like physically afraid of harm. So something's going on in the White House. Like they are recognizing that this is just a disaster. This is a train wreck. All right. So I guess I think the universe is trying to point out that it's not going well for them, right? So there's a lot of hope here that this train will stop. There again, Trump is trying to figure a way out. He's not succeeding. He doesn't have any avenues. It's like he's tried this, he's tried that, he's tried this, he's tried that. You know that he recently is kind of dropping the lawsuit where, believe it or not, Trump was suing the US government. He is suing the government that he runs for, $80 million because someone released his tax returns. So he kind of gave the suit up, which is just indicating, he's losing. He knows he's losing support. It doesn't look good when you steal $80 million from the citizens. He wouldn't have done that if things were going really well. He just wouldn't care, right? That's how Trump has always been. But there's something going on behind the scenes, and I mean a lot. All right, so what about Iran? So a ship is going towards Iran, and the ship just tries to turn back and then turn sideways. It's like the Titanic. I don't think that this could be literal. I think that this is Trump's trying to get out of it, and there's no way. He just can't find a way out. China just embarrassed him. They didn't give him anything. He's still trying to pressure countries he considers weak, like Greenland, and he's still trying to get them. Like he can't take his aggression out on equally powerful people. He can only do it on people that have 57,000 citizens. He would press the bomb tomorrow if he could get his fingers on it, and that's just what I'm being seen. It's just extremely good fortune that somebody in the White House, some people, most people, virtually all people, realize that he would press that button just for spite, just to increase his numbers. He would do that, and they don't want him to do that. That would be bad for their 401ks. They want him to distract everybody with the stuff as they steal as much as they can. So they have put some controls in it, and I think some people in the White House are, yeah, more generals. I'm seeing a general now. They are patriotic. They are doing it for the right reasons. So there's a general here who's just sort of dusting off his medals and remembering what it is to be an American citizen and doing the right thing. He's kind of a representative of others who, though they are perhaps conservative, are do realize the threat that Trump is. All right. So anything more about Iran? Again, I'm seeing a ship with a hole in it. It doesn't sink, but it's a big problem. I think that we have no idea of what's really happening in Iran. There's no reporters out there. There's no way to monitor it. There's no images. We have to listen to the government tell us what's going on, but there's no reason to believe them. And there is no evidence. There is no reporting, really. Okay, so the ship has a hole in it. It kind of slowly turns. It fires back. But it just, this is a guerrilla war. We can't, we cannot win it. It's like Vietnam. You can kill every single person at the top again and again, but the base of the country does not want to be told what to do, and so they will resist it no matter what. They are a sovereign nation, so they couldn't care less, what the which country we're trying to invade. They just won't accept it. And that's the disaster. That is the Trump problem, that they cannot win this war. This will continue until Iran gets the concessions that it wants. Now, I am seeing one thing that seems somewhat positive. I'm seeing a secular leader of Iran, and it's like almost like this secular leader emerges out of this chaos because the people of Iran are do realize, like, it's one shadow versus another shadow. So, how do we evolve through this? And the threat is so big to just daily life that they're wanting a change. They seem to be attracted to this leader, as do other many Iranians want it, because they're just like, well, any religious fanatic is going to draw more ire. Maybe we should just have a regular person. This will emerge. It's not going to happen anytime soon. It feels like it could emerge in the next administration. It seems like the only way to end this war is just end the administration and the war will end. The administration is not competent. They don't know how to negotiate. They are only doing it to raise Trump's ego and profile. So how can we get a long-term solution? Good question. He's there, and now he represents everything that Iran opposes. So they have no need to negotiate with Trump. They'd rather be in a state of war. That is, the leaders would rather be in war because that's what gives them power. So anything, what else can we know about Iran? This could also mean just, people are sort of taking off their head dress, head scarf. And when they do that, then there's a political leader who's there. So it seems maybe even that the average person could be Hey, I'm not that fanatic. I'm just a regular person, but I am stepping up for the nation. And it's something to do with their own sovereignty. So this religiousness is sort of ebbing and flowing and shifting and changing. In some ways, Trump has just made enemies of all people in Iran, including the secular people. So the secular people are now stepping up to defend their country. It's just a social political disaster for the United States. We have kicked a hornet's nest. We cannot get out of it. So let's just see. Spirit, how are we going to get out of this? All right, barbed wire fences. At the end of the barbed wire fence, there's a post, and they get around this post. So there's a sort of a field of war, but they kind of reverse it. They go out around the barbed wire and go reverse. Uh-huh. I'm wondering, I don't know if this war is going to end for a while because it seems like a new government, American government, is required to end it. That is one that is basically progressive, sympathetic to the people of Iran, not necessarily the leaders, will be the one to bring about the peace. And it's a bit like this that a more secular American leader and will meet a more secular Iranian leader, and they will come to an agreement. They're both working for the people in those countries, that is the United States and Iran, and that just says a lot. Like you can't really you can't really work with conservatives. They don't function well. They don't. They will perpetuate ongoing war. Huh. All right. So yeah, I'm seeing Mamdani's face. Like he's there to talk to them. Like he figures out some way to mollify them. Because the average person in Iran, they don't want to live in extended war, and they don't like living under these fanatics. They just they don't have the power. They don't have at present a democracy that works. Sounds familiar. Hmm. Yeah, Mamdani just cuts through the barbed wire and he goes there, right? And I'm getting a good feeling about Mamdani. Like, wow, this guy could really have a future. Or when we shift away from the lunatic fringe, there are these really reasonable people who know what they're doing and are good at negotiating and work hard and aren't selfish. So, on the world stage, this whole situation could be turned to a social advantage. It has a feeling of like all this stuff coming up for us to look at it and see what it really is, right? Before, some of these powers were working more subtly. Now they're overtly corrupt. For example, Trump's desire to pay himself a lot of money is totally corrupt. He's also tried to get a fund for all of those people who were prosecuted after January 6th to basically give them money. Not really clear how, but there's a fund to do it. All right, so what else? What else, Spirit, is there? Okay, Tina Peters' face just came up. It looks like Tina Peters is going to be released from prison. How these things can evolve, I simply don't know. I mean, the governor's a Democrat. Why would they be releasing them? It's incredible. But I'm guessing, I haven't read the article, but I'm guessing the government has to. So, but Tina Peters is part of a cabal to manipulate the elections, and she's going right back at it. The minute she's out of prison, she's going to go right back at it. I think that she stole information such that she has an idea how the systems work, how the election machines work, and it's extremely dangerous. So she's going into that. Georgia comes up. She's going into Georgia to work with some Republican people. Interestingly enough, the Republicans are a little bit afraid of her. They don't trust her. They are worried about being in connection with her. I mean, she did go to prison for a while. So, do they really want to work with her? Then they're kind of tentative about it. They are almost like, we don't want to go against Trump, but we're not going to help this woman, so we'll indulge her, just pretend that she's hoping, and then let her go. This is, in some ways, a very good sign. Republicans have realized association with Trump is not a helpful thing for them. They see that in the future they are very much going to be a despised party if they continue to manipulate the truth and continue to manipulate the election. They're actually even a little bit more worried than that. The people may turn on them if they keep, if we look at January 6th, that could be reversed, right? The same thing could happen against them. That's what they're realizing. Like, well, maybe if we piss off all of the same people that were pissed off on January 6th, we could be pissing off the exact same people or another version of those people, perhaps from the left. And then what's going to happen to us, right? If they can attack that building, why can't they attack other buildings? So the people who are in power, and that is the Republicans in these southern states, are starting to tilt in a different direction. And they're sort of coming back to nonviolent democracy because they're afraid for no other reason. They're not ethical people. There is a little bit of fatigue. Like, I'm really tired of these kinds of politics where I have to compromise my morals again and again. So, Spirit, what about the elections? How is this going to go? I'm seeing a wave. It's a golden wave, right? Which to me means just, return to democracy. So, is it blue? That's the question. It's blue. It's interesting though, but it's kind of tipped in blue, but it's mostly gold. I don't think that this is going to be, hey, go Democrats. It's going to be, go democracy. And that the real response of the American people, and that is, there will be plenty of independents to flush out some of the, old guard. There will be success from the Democrats, but mostly it'll be libertarians and others who chase these Republicans out. And it might even mean that the type of Republicans, I think it does mean the type of Republicans are going to be different. They're going to be on the more not Trumpian side. Yeah, they've just alienated every black voter because they will no longer be represented in the government. They simply will disappear from the government. So you can imagine if you were a pro-Trump African American, you're going to change your mind because you've had all your power taken away from you. All right, so what else can we know about the election? Okay, so huh, yeah, I'm seeing success. It doesn't look like a typical blue wave success, though. It's something, it is much more, it's actually kind of a rainbow. Every type of person will shift to the government. It's not just going to be one group of people. And that's what's really needed right now is a unity government. Something where most of the people agree that XYZ needs to change. That's going to be a lot of people. I'm getting maybe three-quarters of the people are going to desire to change. And I'm going to ask, like, why? Why are they now finally coming to it? It's just a gas pump. That's the reason why people are very interested in practical concerns. They're not interested in democracy or other or corruption. They couldn't care less. They are interested. They people think that corruption is just corruption. It's always going to be exist. It doesn't matter who's in power. But they are very angry about what's happening at the gas pump, and I'm seeing children's faces, and they're looking at their parents, wondering, how come there's no side dishes for dinner tonight? and I'm still hungry, and they have to face this, and that is really making them angry. Yeah, the children crying, and people are shocked that is like the grandparents go visit their families, and they go and they're like, what do you mean there's no food for them? Like, how could this happen? Like, they're engaged in their television to such a degree that they do not realize the reality around them. Then they see this reality and they're really, really upset. Yeah, it's sad that it has to happen to you or someone close to you before you care about it. Maybe that's just a reality. Maybe that's why the delusions that these people are living in are coming crashing down, is because the reality for them is different from the one that they see on the conservative news channels. And when these people turn, they are 10 times angrier than everybody else. They are absolutely just fundamentally demanding that they get an apology and they get a change. And that's what's going to turn us. In some ways, I'm starting to feel like the results of the last election weren't as bad as I thought. It might be that this all had to happen to bring back the United States in terms of their just belief in the United States' ability to solve problems. And I'm not going to let the Democrats walk on this one. They made terrible errors and they became quite aloof. And to some degree, that's because they had to kowtow to money. But also, no one came forward to bust the system except for Bernie Sanders. And he did not, he was very much undermined, not embraced by the system. Why not make him vice president if you weren't going to make him president? He was extremely popular, so why not do that? And that was an error. There were many, many, many mistakes that people on the left selfishly made. So we don't need to blame any one party here. Everybody has participated in this. That doesn't mean you or me per se. That means these leaders are aloof and they need to wake up. All right, thanks so much for watching. Take care, everyone.